Good morning, Rotarians and guests. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Hudson. I'm Ron Strobel, the Sergeant at Arms. And if you'd stop talking, Jay, we could start. Our invocation this morning is by Phil Tobin.
Thank you, Ron. Good morning, everybody. Heavenly Father, for the churches of the world, may their proclamation of good work comfort the poor and humble, even as a challenge the proud and the powerful. For the leaders of nations, may they have the gifts of faith, hope, and love in order to acknowledge God and to be of true service to those they govern. For all who have experienced rejection and persecution for their beliefs, may they preserve in their faith and be witness of God in every situation. For all families who are struggling, may God renew their love, help them recognize the gift that they have for each other and forgive each other for their failures. For greater awareness of the impact of our words, may our communications honor dignity of each person of whom we speak and always communicate in the four-way test. In your name we ask it. Amen. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, Phil. And to lead us in the pledge and the four-way test, Jim Ahern.
Good morning. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do, number one, number two, number three, and last, number four. And speaking of the four-way test, I wanted to give a report on Saturday was the district competition. Everybody sit down. The district competition, and good news, you saw the winner here. Peter McGinnis won the whole thing. So he is going to, along with two other folks, he's going to the district conference, and he in second place and third place. And the interesting thing was, I was talking to the judges in his preliminary round they do there before the final 10 get up and speak. And second place was in his room of 5 competitors. And so they were so torn, they could not decide, and they sent both of them to the finals. So it was pretty cool. He did a great job. He did a great job. So first time in my working, and I'm doing this 14 years, the first time we got first. We got second 3 times, but we got first is the first time.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, we have a piece of necessary business that we have to take care of this morning, and that is electing our president-elect, secretary, and treasurer for the year 24-25, and also 3 members of the board. They're on a 3-year cycle, so we have 3 going off. We have 3 coming on for 26-27. So for the officers, our president for 24-25 is Kelly Brennan. These are not official yet. We haven't voted on them. That's coming up. President Kelly Brennan, President-elect Keith Veers, Treasurer Ben Rexroad, Secretary Chris Barker. If I could have a motion to approve. Tom, second. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Okay, and for the three board members who will be, have a 3-year term ending or starting and ending in 26, 27 is Jim Ahern, Elizabeth Kowalik, and Ann Filburn. Could I have a motion for those three? Second? Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. That takes care of that business. And a special thank you to those members who have agreed to take those positions. It's wonderful. And now our president, Terry Bortnick.
Good morning, Rotarians. Good morning, guests. Good to see all your bright faces this morning. Okay, we just have a couple short things to attend to. We have a gala committee meeting Friday. As you all know, we're on weekly meetings now, and anyone is welcome to attend. There's always something that needs to be done. We stuffed envelopes last week and got invites out. And now don't forget, everybody, we're in the process of collecting for the actual donations. Yes, thank you. Takes a village. Anyway, so don't forget to get out there and get your donations collected so that we have all that in order. But Friday at noon we're going to be at the foundation room, correct? Okay, and then there's a foundation board of directors meeting on the 17th. So that's next week. Mimi has a few words to say this morning.
Good morning. I was asked to announce a series of upcoming workshops that many of you may be interested in. I know a number have been participating over time. The League of Women Voters and the community working group that's been working on climate issues is going to kick off the first in a series of probably 6 workshops over the next 8 months that are dealing with initiatives that individuals can undertake on their own, since it is clear we're not going to get current leadership from our city. But it's also because we all make the mess and we all need to clean it up. So on the 18th, which is a week from Thursday, at the high school media room from 7 to 9, there will be a first crack, which is going to look at all the technological things that you can do in your home, inside and outside your home, ranging from conversion to renewables, to just changes in how you do things. And there is a group of 8 Hudson and Stowe residents who have already done these things. They're going to lead table discussions. We'll have a quick briefing about some things we need to know about how to, by individuals and families, leverage tax credits and rebates for things that are done under federal government opportunities. And so people will have an opportunity to ask questions and you will get a crack at all 4 of those subject areas. So it's going to be really, I think, interesting and worthwhile. We had a rehearsal the other night so that everybody knew what everybody else was up to. And it sounds like a really fun kind of informative exercise. On the 1st of May, if you have an interest in transitioning your yard to a more sustainable operation, and that's from the mechanical devices that you use to how to transition your plantings to accommodate what's going on with the climate, and also how to enhance your ability to control stormwater, et cetera. And for that one, we have three experts who are going to be on a panel, and then it's all going to be Q&A after that, so that there'll be a facilitated discussion. In the fall, we will be dealing with transportation, with public health and safety, and with food security issues that are affecting this area. So this will be the first round, and we invite your participation. It doesn't cost you anything, and you don't have to pre-register. Just show up at entrance C, the one closest to Stowe Road, at the high school, and you'll be sent to the stairwell or the elevator, depending. Thanks.
Thank you, Mimi. Just a reminder also, on the 26th and 27th is the district conference, and we're fortunate to have it right here at the Sheraton in Cuyahoga Falls this year. So it's nice and close. They have things going on all day, Friday and Saturday. You do not have to attend all day. You don't have to do any of that, but you can go in you do need to just pre-register just so they know you're coming. But there are discussions going on all day, both days, that anybody can join. And they have some very interesting things going on. Everybody should have gotten that email. If you'd like to have it resent, let me know. I'll make sure you get the information. But it could be very informative and helpful to us as a group. Okay. All right. With that, I will pass this off to Mr. Lang, and he will introduce our guest today.
Thank you, Terry. Terrians, how was the eclipse? Unbelievable, huh? Well, that's part of summer fun, and that's our theme. What a transition. That's our theme this month, and I'm pleased to introduce our first speaker, which is Andrea Hartman, and she's from Gervasi's. Is that the proper pronunciation? Okay. Anyways, Andrea, I just met this morning, but have been communicating with her over the recent months, and found out that she's a seasoned marketing professional with a passion for wine, like a lot of us, and the hospitality industry. As the marketing director of Gervasi's Vineyard, she plays a pivotal role shaping the brand's image and driving its growth. With a background in both marketing strategy and event planning, Andrea brings a wealth of experience to her role. She earned a bachelor's degree in marketing from Penn State University, one of my other Nittany Lion friends. She's joined the Gervasi Vineyard team. Andrea immediately immersed herself in the world of wine, eager to learn about the intricacies of winemaking and the unique story behind each bottle produced in this vineyard. Her enthusiasm for the product, combined with a strategic mindset, which she developed at Penn State, has helped Gervasi Vineyard stand out in the competitive market. And I think you guys all have seen how they have really been blossomed. Under Andrea's leadership of the last 3 years, Gervasi's Vineyard's marketing initiatives have seen tremendous success. She has spearheaded creative campaigns that not only highlight the quality of wines, but also showcase the vineyard's picturesque setting and commitment to excellence in hospitality. And I can attest to that. After Scott was here about 3 years ago, I signed up for their email blasts, and it's like every week there's something creative coming out of her mind. It's incredible. You got to sign up if you haven't. Gervasi Vineyard continues to cultivate audiences with its exceptional wines and unforgettable experiences, and solidifying its reputation as a premier destination in the world of wine tourism. And I'll tell you, we're blessed to have it right in our backyard. So please share with me a warm Rotary welcome for Andrea. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Good morning, everyone. All right. So first I'd like to ask, has anyone been to Gervasi before? Yep, there we go. All right, great. Go ahead, next slide. All right, so a little bit, I'll give you a brief overview of the Gervasi history. It's kind of a really unique history here. So Gervasi Vineyard was actually a rundown tree farm in Canton, Ohio. Our owner and founder, Ted Swaldo, it was his retirement project. It was 23 days after he had retired from ASC, a manufacturing company in Canton, that he stumbled upon the property. It was actually his landscaper, his at-home landscaper said, you know what, Ted, there's a really cool little bit of property in Canton and it really needs some TLC. And as I mentioned, it was a rundown tree farm and Ted toured the property and decided, you know what, this would be a great little retirement project. I'll go ahead and purchase this. And I have a passion for wine and winemaking, and I'll start a little vineyard, leave something for my family as a legacy. And here we are 14 years later, 55 acres. We are a world-renowned winery resort. Go ahead and next slide. So this is a bit of the property here, a map. So as you can see, when you first pull in, I have to get my bearings here, right over at the entrance. Yep. You'll see we have the North Vineyard. We have the Marketplace, which is our boutique gift shop, the bistro, the piazza, and I'm going to go through all of this through this slide, but I just thought a map would be really helpful to show that 55 acres, we are completely full. We are 5 acres under vine. As you can see, we have the North Vineyard and then the South Vineyard. As I mentioned, the bistro, the piazza, farmhouse, that was the original farmhouse on the property. The Still House, which is our coffee house and cocktail lounge. Villa Grande, which is an event center for us. The villas. Crush House, which is a restaurant, and our winery. The Casa, which is our boutique hotel. And new to the property, which I'll also talk about in my presentation today, is the spa and the cave. Go ahead and next slide. All right, so today's theme is summer fun, and what better way to kick off the presentation than to talk about the Piazza. This is actually one of my favorite restaurants on the property. It is open seasonally, May through October. So we're actually right in the process of getting everything ready to open the Piazza, menus and photos, and getting all of our staff geared up as well. So as I mentioned, it is open seasonally May through October, Tuesday through Sunday. Very al fresco dining, really casual but beautiful lakeside views, really great sandwiches, salads, brick-fired pizzas, of course, our amazing wine and cocktails. Next slide. So again, here's a photo of, it was actually newly expanded right when I started back in 2021. Beforehand, it was you would go up to the bar, order, and then a server would bring your food and beverages out to you. Now it is a full service restaurant. Go ahead and next slide. Then we have the Crush House. Go ahead and next slide. So the Crush House is actually where our winery facility is located, hence the name Crush House. And as far as menu goes, it's a very casual restaurant. It does not take reservations, so you can, if you're on the property, put your name in. It's first come, first serve. We do have beautiful outdoor dining there as well. And we have some great offerings as far as salads, pastas, entrees. So again, it is open for lunch and dinner. Next slide. Then we have the Still House. And the Still House is our coffee house by day, cocktail lounge at night. We do proudly serve our own Gervasi Cafe coffee. It is phenomenal. It's one of my favorite places to stop in the morning before heading into the office and getting a cup of coffee. It's also a great place. We do have a lot of meetings there in the morning. You'll see a lot of groups getting together, including Rotary. We do sometimes have a small Canton Rotary group that meets there, Bible groups. And then in the evening, it turns into our cocktail lounge. So we do have live music here in the distillery on starting on Wednesday through Sunday. We also have distillery tours that are on Sunday in the distillery as well. Next slide. Then we have the bistro. So the bistro is actually our cornerstone restaurant right on the property. Actually, you will see in that bottom left-hand picture is a new picture of the bistro. We newly remodeled the bistro this year. So we decided that along with the rest of the property, it's very upscale and modern and sophisticated. And beforehand, it had a very farm type of feel and vibe. So we decided that it was time for the bistro to get a little bit of a facelift. So we have new paintings, new art. You'll see beautiful new chandeliers, new red curtains. The ambiance is just beautiful. If you haven't been to the bistro this year, we remodeled in January. It's definitely worth the trip to come down just to see the renovations and the remodeling. Wonderful food and drinks as well. We do have a new chef, executive chef. He's actually from California and specializes in Italian home cooked meals. And he is really changing the menu. We have wonderful house-made pastas and entrees, really authentic Italian features as well. So if you haven't made your way down specifically for the bistro, I highly, highly recommend it. New to the property is the cave. So the last time Scott came down and presented, the cave was actually under construction and it is now open. And as you can see, it is a beautiful, beautiful facility. We do have several different opportunities for you to experience in the cave. We have private events that you can host. We have public hours. We have a ticketed tasting tour with which is 4 tastes of a wine with an antipasta cup that is led by one of our wine ambassadors. And after the tasting, you are then able to tour the wine barrel aging facility. That's really what sparked the entire project. Is in the crush house, we had a room that was for our wine barrel aging, and we shortly outgrew that facility and we were storing our barrels in an offsite facility, and it just didn't make sense anymore to be doing that. So with storage, doesn't really make money at that time. So we decided to really enhance that experience and include the cave. The cave is all about the wine. So there isn't any other beverage offerings there. Again, it's very antipasta, small bites, because unlike our standard wineries that we have in the area, we didn't really have that intimate wine tasting room. If you go to Napa or wine countries in other areas, they have that intimate wine tasting room, and we just didn't have that. So the cave offers that experience for us to really gain that one-on-one experience with those looking to learn more about wine. We also just started Vino Musica, which is a really unique opportunity in the cave. We have a live musician who plays songs paired with the wine. And then we have Vinoversity, and each month it's a different topic. This past month, we had one that's all about our sparkling and our sparkling wines. We have one coming up. We're going to release a new wine, a rosé, and it's going to be based around the different rosés that we have. We just opened up the brand new spa as well. So the spa is located right on top of the cave. And again, same thing. We just kept hearing from our guests, boy, it would be really awesome if you had a spa. We did have in-room experiences for massages, but again, we just were missing that spa type experience. We have overnight accommodations, several restaurants, different experiences, but again, we were really lacking that spa experience. So pictured here, what's really unique for our spa, this is the Tranquility Lounge. So when you book a spa service, we actually ask you to come 30 minutes prior to your service. You receive a complimentary beverage, light refreshments, a warm neck wrap, and you get to enjoy this space for a half hour before your experience. So it really, you unwind, you relax, you really immerse yourself into the entire experience so that when you do go back for your service, you are really relaxed and can enjoy it to its full amenities. Pictured over on that other picture is our couples spa suite. So again, this is a really unique for spas. We have 2 of them. And as I mentioned, it's a spa suite. So there's 2 beds, treatment beds. There's an air bath, which you're probably wondering what's an air bath. It's basically like a jacuzzi or a hot tub, but the bubbles come up from the bottom, so they're not hitting you from the side. So again, it's that really tranquil experience. And we also have a steam and chromotherapy shower in there. So again, what's great about it is if you book a service in the spa suite with a significant other, you get to stay right in that room without having to leave your room. Refreshments and beverages are served to you in there as well. The property is very romantic, and we do have a lot of weddings and getaways and celebrations. So again, this just made perfect sense for us to include these 2 couple spa suites. The Twisted Olive is our sister location, which I'm not sure if any of you have been there as well. It's one of my favorites. It's located in Green, so it's probably a little bit shorter of a distance for you to get to the Twisted Olive than to Gervasi Vineyard. 2 years ago, we were named Best Outdoor Patio in the state of Ohio. So that's really great and a great offering. So as you can see here, we have the interior and some wonderful food. Chef Tori is our executive chef there. She has been with the property for several years. She actually transitioned over from Gervasi Vineyard and has done a wonderful job at revamping the menu. Again, I don't know if anyone has been there recently, but we actually just relaunched a new menu. And she has some wonderful, wonderful offerings. A little bit of history about the property. It was a family home for the Beldens, and it was almost like a little retreat that they would schedule yearly for their family. And then the property went up for sale. And again, Ted decided, you know what, this would be a great little project of ours. So the restaurant does wonderful for us. A lot of private events are held there. And on a Friday and Saturday night, we see a large amount of parties coming through. All right, Gervasi events. So a little bit newer, we have the Musica concert series in the Vineyard. So a few years ago, we started the concert series, and we had one every so often. And actually last year I went to Scott, and as Jim mentioned, I have background in event planning. And I said to Scott, you know what, Scott, I have a lot of really great contacts for live music and bands. I think we can really amp up our concert series and have them be weekly. So he said, all right, I'm giving you this task. Let's run with it. It did so well last year that we are doing it again this year. So we're bringing in a lot of different tribute bands. Example, we actually have a dueling piano band coming this year. We have an ABBA tribute, Bon Jovi. So our concert list is on our schedule this year. And then we also have Rat Pack, which is a Frank and Dean tribute. So again, some really great music for a wide array of audiences. It is general seating and premium seating. So it's great opportunity to come down to the property on a Thursday evening. Concerts begin at 8 p.m. So you can enjoy the property, go out to dinner before, and then head over to the pavilion and listen to some live music. We also, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, we have live music at both the Stillhouse and the Piazza. The Piazza live music begins on Wednesdays as well. So Wednesday through Sunday, both at the Piazza and the Stillhouse, you can experience live music. It rotates throughout the weeks. So depending on the night that you're there, it's always going to be someone new, someone fresh, and new entertainment for all the different genres. All right, we have the cruise-ins, which this is a crowd favorite, a summer staple of ours. We've had the cruise-ins since we've opened, and again, it has just done so well for us. So every Wednesday, June through September, 5 to 8 p.m. It rotates a different car club each week. So you have the Corvettes, we've even had Mini Coopers, and it really just depends on the car group that's coming in, but it's really fun. The property gets really busy that day, and it's so fun to see all of the different cars coming through. All right. So new actually to the property this year. We're trying something different again. Again, I said to Scott, we have Pilates and yoga in the pavilion. I said, I think we can really amp this up again this year. So we are, and we are offering Pilates, yoga, sound bath, which is a really unique form of yoga where they play instruments while you are practicing your yoga and meditation. And this year we are doing a class every single Tuesday in the pavilion, and we're alternating between morning classes and evening classes. Someone had mentioned this earlier, pups on the piazza. Again, that is something that is really popular. On Tuesdays, you can bring your pup to the piazza and they can enjoy some dining with you, which is awesome. This year, we're actually going to be serving selling some different water dishes and pet toys and such in our marketplace. So if you forget your pet's water dish, no worries, we have you covered. Again, they love to be out there and enjoy the property as well. Also, if you didn't know this, you can have your dogs at the Twisted Olive anytime on the bottom lower level of the patio. So again, we're very pet friendly. We know pets are very important to you. All right, we do offer several different winery dinners. This year we are doing our pavilion dinner. It is a tour of Italy themed. So again, we have a wonderful executive corporate chef, Ryan Bowen. He works with one of our wine stewards and they pair a wonderful 5-course meal with our award-winning wines. So we have that coming up in June. New is our SIPs series. So as I mentioned, we do have a distillery and it has been a goal of ours to really showcase our spirits. Yes, we are a winery, but if you aren't a wine connoisseur or not really a favor of wine, that's okay because we do offer spirits. So again, we decided there is a niche there to teach more about our spirits. So we started the SIP series, hashtag Gervasi Spirits Unleashed. So we actually have one tonight in the distillery. It's called Sip and Party. And it's just 1 hour long. You get a cocktail, you get to mingle with other guests, you get to talk to our head distiller. We are re-releasing our pink peppercorn gin. It's phenomenal. I know it sounds to be a little different, but it's wonderful. And we are re-releasing it tonight, and actually Shay is going to be there to sign bottles for that. Talking about the solar eclipse, on Monday we had Sip and See. Again, you received a cocktail and some snacks, and you were able to enjoy the lawn and watch the solar eclipse. We also introduced our Sip and Learn. It's a craft cocktail class, hands-on. It's in the Villa Grande, led by one of our mixologists. So again, if you were really wondering how to make that craft cocktail at home and the different techniques, and there's a science to it, I've really learned. You can actually attend one of these classes and learn how to make your craft cocktail at home. Coming up in May, which actually we are sold out, but I'm sure we're going to be doing them again, is Sip and Cinco. It's a class in pairing on the high-end tequila Clase Azul. As I mentioned in the cave, we do have several different offerings now for different experiences and activities for our guests. We have the cave ticketed tasting tour. So again, you receive 4 wines led by one of our wine ambassadors with a Anapasta cup. And then afterwards, you are toured through the barrel aging room. As I mentioned, we have Vinoversity. Again, this one actually that's pictured was all about our red wines. So we are offering these monthly. They've been very popular just because folks are really wondering about wine and wanting to learn more about it. as I mentioned, Vino Musica. So that is Rolando. He is our one of our favorite musicians to the property. And as I mentioned, he plays a variety of music based on the different wine pairings. So you'll be able to listen to live music and it pairs perfectly with your wine. All right, we still have our favorite, our winery tour over in the Crush House. So this happens on Saturdays. We tweaked it just a little bit over the years. And this past year, we are doing a chocolate and cheese pairing. Those chocolates are actually truffles, and they are made by a local chocolatier. And yes, our logo is branded on one of the chocolates there. But again, you receive 4 wines and they are paired with the chocolate and the cheese, and you actually get to tour the winemaking facility. So these take place on Saturdays. We do have, as I mentioned earlier, our distillery tasting tour. That pictured here is Shay. He is our head distiller. He is phenomenal. Again, if you ever make your way down to Gervasi and stop in the still house, ask for Shay. He is a true scientist and a really extensive background in spirit making. As I mentioned, he's re-releasing tonight our pink peppercorn gin. It's a phenomenal product. But the tours take place actually on Sundays in the distillery, and you receive 4 spirit tastings with a salty sidecar snack. We do also offer private distillery tasting tours. So if you have a group like Rotary that's coming and wanting to have a more private, intimate tour, we can handle those as well. Accommodations. So as I mentioned earlier, we have the farmhouse. This was actually the original farmhouse that was on the property, and it can sleep 7 to 8. So it's really popular for a family getaway. We actually just had a family staying there over the weekend, celebrating a bridal shower, and they just made it an entire weekend and a little family retreat. It's really popular for weddings. During Hall of Fame season, for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it's a great amenity that we have. And yeah. We have the villas. So these were the original, this was one of the original accommodations on the property. Again, when our founder, Ted, opened the property, it was the bistro. And then shortly after, we really received a high demand for weddings on the property, which led us to construct the pavilion. Well, then we started to host weddings. And the next question we got was, okay, where's your overnight accommodations? So that led to the villas. We have 6 villas. We have 4 rooms within each villa, and it shares a common area. And then behind each villa is a private patio, which overlooks our spring-fed lake. So again, it's perfect for those weddings or a family celebration. They're really popular to book the entire villa. Or if you're a couple who's willing to meet some new friends along the way, it's also a great offering for that. Then we have the Casa. The Casa is our boutique hotel. It's actually my favorite to go into the Casa. Sometimes I like to get away from the office a little bit and work in the lobby. But it is our boutique hotel. 24 king luxury suites are in the property there. Heated floors, heated tile bars, in-room fireplace, really, really romantic. Each room suite has its own private patio, which then leads to a beautiful courtyard with a fire pit. Another spring-fed lake is behind that as well. The marketplace, as I mentioned earlier, is our boutique shopping. We newly expanded this. I'm not sure if this was expanded when Scott came to the group, but we expanded this 2,000 square feet a few years ago. And the reason being is we had over 30 varietals of wine, and then we really started to mass produce our spirits. And we had them in 2 separate areas. So it just felt really disjointed. Folks and guests didn't really realize that we had both offerings. So again, it really led to us to expand so that we could put everything in one area so that you can see that we do offer both wines and spirits. It also led for us to carry some really high-end luxury, unique products. Pictured in this is, it's called Hammett. They're beautiful Italian leather handbags. We have some other great offerings for home decor and really unique gifts. So it's a great offering for the local shopper or those guests that are looking for that memento to take home. Again, another picture here that you can see, we have our wine and our spirits in a way that beautifully displayed all at once. And that is it. Anyone have any questions? I know I went through a lot. Okay.
Here.
Thank you.
So remind us again, what's the total acreage of the property?
Yep, so it's 55 acres and we are completely full right now, so we
And the
don't.
history of it, it used to be a farm, what was like was it like a dairy farm? Or
It was actually a tree farm.
a tree farm?
It was Jabberwocky Tree Farm.
Okay,
Mhm.
I just still think it's so amazing, if I remember correctly, the family that started this, they weren't in this field at all. I mean, if I remember correctly, it was automobile water pumps or
Yep.
something like that.
You're correct.
Sold the business.
Yep.
and Did this. And I just think it's such an amazing story that they were able to do it so successfully with such amazing vision. I guess not every aspect of it was envisioned from the beginning.
No.
Reacting to the market and opportunities and things like that all along the way. But I think it's just an amazing story. What's the name of the family again?
So it's the Swaldo family. And I'm going to touch on a few things to your point is it's a family run business. So we have Ted Swaldo, who is our owner and founder. My boss, who actually came to speak to the group, is Scott Swaldo. That's his son. Jeff Hicks, his husband, is our brand manager. And then Ted's daughter, Christy, is our buyer for the marketplace. Her husband, Tom, is our CFO. And now their children are starting to be incorporated into the business. We have Lucas, who is now our director of food and beverage. We have Sophie, who is actually a junior down at Ohio State right now. She's actually my marketing associate. So we are getting the family really incorporated. Everyone is there. Ted actually comes there every single day still when he's not down in Florida. So it's really great to see him. They had a lot of help along the way. They had consultants. And again, as you can see, I'm very passionate about my job and about the family. And as you can imagine, most of our staff are, if not all, are very passionate about the property, the vision. We have wonderful, extensive training to really provide that world-class experience.
Great presentation.
Thank
So
you.
what was your path, your story going from Penn State to this position?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually love sharing this story. So I went to Penn State, and my senior year, I called my parents and I said, you know what, I'm not coming back to Ohio. I'm going to go to New York City. I'm going to make it big in New York City, work for a big marketing public relations agency. And one of my marketing classes, we did go out to New York City, and I saw what the cost of living was and what my starting salary was going to be. And as you can tell, I love clothes and jewelry and all the things. And I thought, oh my man, I'm not going to make it here. So I called my mom and dad back and I said, you know what, I think I'm coming back to Ohio. And actually a position had opened up with the Canton Chamber being an event manager for the Pro Football Hall of Fame events. And I met with the director and president of the chamber. And at the time I was interviewing for the outdoor events, and I had a suit on just like I did today. And they said, Andrea, you're going to be outside, sweaty, gross, maybe be stuck in a rainstorm. How are you going to handle it? And without a beat, I said, well, that's why they make waterproof mascara. So I was there for 8 years. And the pandemic hit, and events had really changed, and I kind of just lost my passion for it. But I didn't lose my passion for Canton, and I didn't lose my passion for tourism. So the position became available at Gervasi, and as everyone knows, it's such a staple in the Canton area, and now even beyond. And I went and I met with Scott, and I really just shared my passion for his vision and the property. And he hired me, and I've been there now for 3 years.
The one thing you didn't talk about is that you are truly a jobs generator for the greater Canton area. Can you tell us approximately how many employees that you have and kind of an idea of overall revenue? I mean, this is just an amazing story. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Great point. So we are one of the leading employers for the Canton area. Right now, this is considered off season for us. So we have a little over 300 employees between the two properties. We do have about 100 that are full-time, 40 hours a week. We have several leaders within the organization as well. And then when we are full steam ahead, full season, we have over 500 employees. So something that is unique, which I'm not sure if this program existed when Scott came the last time. So as you can imagine, now that we have the Piazza, which is full service, and I also neglected to mention, in the summer season, we can run about 8 weddings a weekend. And we do. So and really, they are Cleveland brides in Pittsburgh. And it's really those brides that are looking for a destination wedding right now is really what we're pulling. So as you can imagine, we need a lot of staff for that time. So we started a program, it's called the H-2B program. So we actually use international visa employees for the summer months. And it's been very successful for us, just because, as everyone knows, there is a hiring crisis, and we would not be able to staff and manage the property without that staff.
Okay, so what I find most amazing in this whole thing is that you said this is just 14 years of development, correct?
That is
I mean,
correct.
think about it. I've been trying to paint an office in my house for 14 years and it's not done yet. I mean, I find that amazing. So he had not been in this business. How did he educate himself, even get a vision for what direction to go and how to start? How to start?
Yeah, that's a great question. And again, it's so fun to see him because he is a true contractor. Anytime we have a project or any type, when we were building the cave and the spa, Ted was there every single day with those contractors, keeping them in line, making sure the project was going smoothly. And he had to pivot a lot. You know, when we first opened the bistro, we were serving just real light antipasta, meats and cheeses, and a few wines. And then we shortly decided that the demand was there, and we had to pivot and hire an executive chef. One of our first hires was Andy Codispoti. He is our head winemaker. And again, Ted and Scott, they know how to hire the best. And they knew Andy. They interviewed Andy, and he had extensive background on winemaking. His family, actually, his ancestors are from Italy, and he was born and raised growing grapes and nurturing vines and producing wine. So really, Ted and Scott have done a phenomenal job hiring great people that have that extensive knowledge. And as I mentioned, and it is a goal of ours, Lucas, who's our director of food and beverage, has really taken this as his initiative for training. Because if our staff aren't trained, then it trickles down to the guest experience. And that's really important to really provide that wonderful guest experience. And when a staff member is trained, they feel valued, they feel important, they are knowledgeable, they feel comfortable and confident going into their shift. So again, that's been a goal of ours as well. Thank you.
Question on your success, and you said you're getting more folks from regions,
Mhm.
certainly Ohio. Have you had folks that saw how you started and how quickly it grew that came and said, can you mentor us in Pennsylvania or West Virginia or anywhere if they want to develop a winery?
We have actually, we've actually have some great partnerships too, even in Geneva on the Lake. And we have had folks come to us and ask for mentorship as well. Even as I mentioned in the wedding industry, we have venues that have toured our property and have come down to see us and ask, one, how we do our marketing, and two, how we run the organization. So yes, we do.
In your bio, you talked about how much you learned about wine, how you, I guess, dove into it. And are you a sommelier?
I am not yet. That is a goal of mine. But what's really cool is when we were building the cave, I really got to experience the winemaking process from start to finish. We actually produced a really cool video for the cave. So again, if you haven't made your way down to the property to see the cave yet, I highly suggest it. But again, just seeing how our property managers take care of the vines, and it is truly a full-time job. I even thought, okay, well, what could they possibly be doing in the winter months? And they are buying grapes, they're brokering grapes, they are coming up with new recipes, they're constantly monitoring the aging of our current wines. So it's really been a unique process, and it is a goal of mine to become one. Yeah. It is a long process, a lot of school.
So I just recall, I think, was it Ohio State was actually working on a cold weather grape? Any information about that?
Yeah, so I don't have any recent updates on that, but we are great partners with Ohio State, the agriculture program, and we actually students and come up to our facility to tour the facility. And then our current head winemaker, David Smith, he's constantly meeting with Ohio State about the new grape and everything. And we have won several awards with the Ohio wine competition. We actually just submitted some of our wines for the Great Lakes competition. So it's been a great partnership.
I know nothing about wine, but most wineries are by the lakes or the water. So Canton isn't by the lake. So is it a proper environment to grow to have vineyards?
Great question. And again, as I mentioned, we've had to pivot and change a lot along the way. One of that was the first selection of grapes that we started to grow. We shortly found out that they weren't viable for the climate and for the ground. So we have actually grown and decided to do more of a hybrid that can thrive in property that isn't by a lake or can sustain these really cold winter months. We actually produce 4 of our wines, our estate wines. They actually are after each family member. Those are the grapes that we grow right on property. So that we do have some blends. Actually, our the wine for Christie is a novella wine, so it's a Pinot Novella. So it's meant to be enjoyed fresh instead of aged. So again, we've had to pivot along the way and make changes to the vines that we do grow. Oh, yes, and I do. I have brochures with me as well, which has a lot of great information. So if you'd like to see me after, I can give you a brochure. And again, a great resource, as Jim mentioned earlier, is to sign up for our email newsletter. We send them out weekly, and then everything is, all the information is on our website. Thank you, everyone.
Can I take here 1 minute? Andrea, can I keep you here 1 minute? Thanks so much. That was great. Marilyn, I don't forget about you. I'm gonna go ahead and do this real quick. Would you choose a winner of our vote book for us here? We have a $7 payout today.
Yes.
All right, a winning ticket number, 614164. 164. Up, Mr. Strobel. Okay, we have $194 in the, all right, and they're getting slim in the. Oh, not today. I'll trade you.
Use that for the.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention our, we are, who are we this month? Oh, the, for the, domestic violence, safer futures this month, which I forgot to mention. So if you have anything for there, we'll be collecting all month for safer futures. Okay, Marilyn would like to talk to us for a few minutes.
I think just make an announcement today that one of Javasi has always been a strong supporter of our Rotary Gala. Last year, the spa opened in April, and they gave us a contribution towards our gala, and he gave some again. So I really wanted to thank you. Lastly, without the community support like this, our gala wouldn't happen. And so it's just really wonderful to have you come and share this exciting news, but also to participate. And we really appreciate that. Last Friday, we stuffed the invitations and everything has gone out, but I have a few extra. So if you have friends and neighbors, let's make this a friend and family event. Think about your adult children. It's a good time to bring them on in, bring them home, let them know what Rotary's all about, see if we can't generate a little interest in our club. So anyway, if you have, I have extra invitations. I'll have them from this point forward, and please pick a few up. And so I'd like to give you an invitation too. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you, everyone. And yeah, let's get out and get these invites out around the area and just, think outside the box a little bit about who might be interested in at least coming to the gala and participating in the events there. So with that said, go out, stay dry, make it a great day.